Welcome back to the Brains World with your host, that crazy Karmann Ghia guy. Before we get started in this adventure, I need to tell you something. This trip to get this 1969 Karmann Ghia convertible is the last adventure that I went on with my best friend, G. I didn't know that before I went on the trip. If this adventure touches your heart, please give me a thumbs up to keep the memory alive of G. And if you're new here at Brains World, follow us and become part of our family. Thanks for helping keeping G's memory alive, and give your pet an extra hug tonight. So let's get started on the last adventure with my best friend G.
Welcome to Brains World 23! Let's rock!
All right, so my dog G and I were on our way to take a look at a 69 Karmann Ghia that came here from Utah about a year and a half ago and then got covered and sat. So nothing's happened with it. So we're gonna go check it out. Just in case you want to know where here is, we're in Maine. Most of the cars I pick up, they're all over the US. It's kind of rare that I pick up one in Maine. Doesn't happen too often. You enjoying the ride, G? Huh? Uh-oh. We missed our turn. Oh, you missed a turn here. It's gonna add a whole lot of time. That's what happens when you enjoy the scenery around here. Okay, so let me find a place to turn around. Looks like we might have a spot up here. Might get lucky, and we did get lucky. Got a trailer, so it doesn't make it as easy to turn around. All right. Gee, you should have told me we were gonna miss the turn. For some reason, the GPS isn't talking to me. We've had words, so I get the silent treatment now. Gee, make sure there's no cars coming. She gets real excited. She can kind of tell when we're almost at the end of a trip. She starts jumping around, getting all excited. I don't know if she knows that, but she does. We're here. There she is. Okay. So I'm gonna So this is the 69 Karmann Ghia. Let's go check this out. Does she have an engine? No engine. She did have a cutout there. I think they were going to try to put a Subaru engine in, so there's a little bit of metal work I got to do back here. Yeah, she's beautiful. As you can see, it's a 69. The nose is in good shape. However, they did do a cutout down here. Don't know why, but they did. So we'll have to put all that back. It's not too bad. So, original miles. That's a little shy of 100,000 miles. Original radio. And the other gauges are in a box. Stuff. So here's all the little bits. Got the hubcaps. Tail light. I mean the license plate. Light. Parts for the front bumper. This is all the front bumper. And then here's the metal that all got cut out. There's the fuel fill. And a spare tire. Someone started doing some cutting on the floorboards. So, but they seem to be okay shape, so we'll just have to clean them up a little bit. We'll find out later once we pull the carpet. See it or not? See that or not? There's the numbers. Which match. The numbers right there. Did you ever come up with a name for your car?
Never did. I was planning on it. I was trying to figure out the style for her. I had thought about just styling her after the Kill Bill car. Blue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe lean towards something in Kill Bill, like Beatrice or something.
So you like the name Beatrice?
Yeah, I think it's cute.
Okay.
But I never did get that far. I wanted to drive her first and get a feel for her.
Maybe you want to call her Beatrice?
That's up to you. I couldn't name her. I didn't put any love into her yet, you know?
It's on your name. It was on your mind.
Sure, it was. I like that.
So you said you watched the movie Kill Bill. That's what made you fall in love with the car?
Yeah, I saw it when it first came out back in the day, and I don't know, as in high school, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and I loved it. I loved the sound of it. I loved the way it drove. It was cute, and I loved it.
You were telling me that, the end of 2024, decided to move to Maine from Utah.
Utah, big.
A really big change. I've never been to Utah, but I'm assuming it's a lot different. Wide open?
Yeah, it is very wide open. Most of the population around Salt Lake just all lives close together in a big bowl in the valley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it gets heavy air. It all just settles in with all the pollutants and it just feels heavy. It's beautiful though. Even though it is wide open, it feels tight. Yeah, and a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
So on your way here, you found this 69 Ghia.
Yeah, we actually had found it right before we moved out, and we picked it up coming out here, and it's supposed to be my baby.
So where did you pick it up?
In southern Utah, towards the border of in between Utah and Nevada.
Okay. Yeah. So she's a long way home. Well, Beatrice is.
Oh yeah.
Wow. And then you brought her here, and you had plans to fix her up and everything, and
yep, plans to restore her, drive her around the coast. Didn't work out.
So for the last year and a half, you kind of just sat in the garage.
Yeah, Yep. Time for a new life.
Yep. Well, it happened.
Yeah.
Hope we don't get rained on.
It might. They're looking angry. Those clouds are.
It doesn't look like the steering wheel locks. Somehow they pulled that out. And this year the steering wheel locks. So they're just able to turn the steering wheel.
Oh, I'm not sure. Dang.
Stuff got pulled out. The ignition's not in there or anything. The lock's not in there. 69, I believe, is when they first started locking the steering wheels.
It's actually really cool. You have the best helper here.
Oh yeah, she's a good girl. So if you come on over here, I'll show you something on the car. Water in the vehicle. So over here, this is 69, and one of the big differences between the 69 and the 68 is right over here there's an indentation on a 68 where you get your finger underneath there, you pick it up a little bit, and then you unlock with your finger the gas tank lid to fill. And they switched to, that was old 1 year thing, and then they switched where you have to unlock from the inside. So that's what happened there. All right, I'm gonna go back up the trailer. All right, get over that hump, it'll be easier.
1, 2, 3.
There we go. Watch that side of the car, make sure I'm not gonna hit the wall.
You're good.
Okay. Ooh, there we go.
Hi.
Ready?
Yep. It's ready. Go on.
Oh. All right, there, okay, hold that there. I'm gonna block the tires. Actually, I'm gonna go back just a little bit more. Not much. You're really good. Got it? Yep. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is put this around the tires. Like this. Through and around, and then I'll ratchet it, and then this will make it really tight, and these won't come off.
Excellent.
And then under there it's a ratchet.
Relationship gave me a bunch of white hairs under this black hair dye.
I really don't have any hair.
Oh, goodness.
You knocked over my coffee and hid behind the door, like you were waiting for the world to love you less than before. You look so guilty, I almost laughed, 'cause honestly, I've done the same. Apologize.
Her name is G. Just the letter G.
I love it. So pretty. I love her blockers. I'm so fascinated.
Being a good girl?
over my coffee and hid behind the door.
All right, so we are on our way to Caribou. I live a lot further north. I live about approximately 4 hours north of Freedom, which is where I picked up this 1969 Karmann Ghia, and her name is Beatrice. So now we're gonna go. We just made it just in time. It's raining now. All right, we're here in Caribou, Maine, and we're about to unload the 1969 Karmann Ghia convertible that I recently picked up. Let's go check it out. Okay, we're unhooking everything from the back end right now. All right. So, gotta unhook one more ratchet over here. I'm gonna go hook up the tractor. All right, let's back it up here, see what happens. Actually, I'm gonna give myself a little bit more room. That'll be all right. All right, I gotta adjust the steering wheel. All right, this is my 1969 Karmann Ghia convertible. She is beautiful. Look at that. Person was going to put a Subaru engine in it, and so they did a couple of cutouts, but those are going to be pretty easy to repair. Not a big deal. Look how straight she is. Nice and straight. She does have a little bit of rust here and there. These are the bits that I got to weld back in. Some I'm just going to replace with new metal, actually. I've got that. Original gauges are all in there in that box. And the other bumper. We're going to give her a good home. Nose is nice and straight. Pick up the hood here. There's the rat's nuts, the wires. Gotta go through all that. Probably just rewire. More metal that they took out, but that can be replaced, not a big deal. Just get the nose, it's nice. Original plate. Pick up the hood here. Initially, when I got her, we thought she was a 68, and when I saw her, I realized she was a 69. You can tell because on a 68, there's an indentation here to open up the gas fill flap. And this one obviously doesn't have that. So this is 69. You can see the heater channels. Those are in good shape there. Here's the other one. Here's the other heater channel. I've got the covers for him. Dash, original radio in there. I've got all the original gauges. She didn't come with seats, but I've got plenty of seats. No big deal. Hey, Yogi. That's my dog, Yogi. Let's take a look underneath. Oops, got a little bit here. That's not too bad though. These are the original floor pans. Looks like there was a repair there. And these girls here are my other Ghias. Plus there's another one that's torn down, and there's another one in the truck. And I'm picking up another one in a couple weeks. This is also really special to me because my best friend passed away last night, a little after midnight. Her name was G. She was my sidekick. She went everywhere with me. You probably saw her in a couple of videos when I would drive around in my truck. This video is dedicated to my dog, G. If you made it this far, thank you for coming along on this journey. This 1969 Ghia adventure will always have a special place in my heart. It was the last road trip G and I ever took together. At the time, I had no idea I was making one of the last memories with my best friend. G wasn't just my dog. She was my shadow. She went to work with me, rode with me on the road trips, followed me everywhere I went, and every night she slept at the foot of my bed, on her blanket. Just knowing she was there made everything feel right. Whenever I had to leave with her, she waited for me to come home. The moment I went through the door, she'd grab one of her favorite chew toys and proudly pranced around. Her whole body wiggled with excitement because I was finally home. I shared my life with G, my dogs, cats, pigs, birds, fish, mice, iguanas, primates, and many other amazing animals. I loved every one of them. But G was different. She wasn't just another dog. She was my best friend. I've never been loved by any animal the way G loved me. And I've never experienced a loss like this before. Sometime after midnight on July 26th, G quietly slipped away while she was sleeping at the foot of my bed, on the blanket she loved, exactly where she always felt safe, close to me. The next day, my wife and I took her to the crematorium to say our final goodbyes. It was the most overwhelming experience. It was the most overwhelming emotional experience I can ever remember. Even now, every time I walk through the front door, I still expect to see her standing there with her chew toy in her mouth, proudly greeting me. For just a moment, I forgot she's gone, and then reality breaks my heart all over again. My son and daughter are making a special urn for her, and I'm thinking about carrying a small keepsake urn with me on every road trip from now on. She spent her life riding beside me. My road trips won't be the same without her, but it only feels right that she keeps riding with me in spirit. Thank you, G, for the road trip, every adventure, every cuddle, every greeting at the door, every memory. Thank you for making my life better, simply by being. I will carry you in my heart for the rest of my life. I love you, G. Until we meet again. If G's story touches your heart, I'd like to ask one small favor. Please give this video a thumbs up in G's memory. And if you aren't a part of the Brain World family, I'd be honored if you would subscribe. Every like, every comment, every subscriber helps keep G's memory alive and allows her story to live on. And when this video is over, if you're lucky enough to have a pet waiting for you at home, give them an extra hug. Don't rush it. Throw the ball one more time. Take them for one more walk. Let them ride with you. Take a few extra pictures, even if you think you already have enough. Because one day, without even realizing it, you'll throw one ball for the last time. You'll take the last walk together. You'll go on the last road trip together. You'll get one last greeting at the front door. And you won't know it's the last until it's already becomes a memory. If I had known this was going to be G's last road trip with me, I would have hugged her a little more, held her longer, and told her I love her one more time. Don't wait until tomorrow. Love them today, because they spend their entire lives loving us. And somehow, their time with us is never long enough. This one's for G. Thank you for being my friend.